Hello everybody and welcome back to another video. I'm SocietySucks and today I'm checking out Can Humanity Stop a Planet-Killing Asteroid by Kurzgesagt. I'm just gonna go ahead and say no, but let's see what Kurzgesagt has to say about it.
Our first ever PC game, Starbirds, is out now in early access. Find out
Oh yeah,
more at
I
the
played
end
the
of this
Starbirds
video.
demo on my gaming channel. Link down in the description below.
A stadium-sized asteroid
if you want to
is
check
going
that
to
out.
hit Earth in 2 weeks. Even at this moderate size, a fireball brighter than the sun tears through the
At
atmosphere
2 weeks?
at 60 times the speed of sound.
I don't think
And the
we'd have enough.
destructive power of
I don't think that would be
4,000
enough
Hiroshima
time.
bombs flattens cities, killing millions. This isn't science fiction. Many killer asteroids were only spotted at the last moment. In 2019, asteroid OK, as big as a 30-story building, was discovered just 1 day before it grazed Earth closer than some of our satellites. Last year, the even larger asteroid MK was spotted 13 days before it passed us closer than the Moon. If they'd have hit Earth, they would have unleashed the destructive power of 3,000 and 9,000 Hiroshima bombs.
Fantastic!
Enough, humanity doesn't really have a plan for this.
Yeah, no
Scientists
shit.
have devised all kinds of tricks to
What
push
would we
dangerous
even
asteroids
do?
away, painting it so sunlight will deflect it, landing thrusters to steer it, scorching it with lasers, or even crashing spacecraft into it. But they all have a big problem. They're the equivalent of trying to deflect a cargo ship by throwing a bag of potatoes at it. They do move
Yeah,
the
they would not
asteroid,
be effective.
but only by a tiny bit. With these methods, you need to act years or even decades in advance to make an asteroid miss the Earth. But very recently, scientists
basically
have
we're
developed
screwed.
a new, spectacular way to destroy killer asteroids that we could implement with today's technology. Let's see how this works with our 100-meter asteroid heading for Earth. The secret weakness of asteroids. For a long time, people imagined asteroids as being gigantic stones made of rock and metal. But it turns out most of them aren't like that. They're more like
No?
bags of loosely packed gravel, heaps of pebbles, precious minerals, and dust barely held together. Which means that instead of just nudging them, we can do something better.
Just break them
Pulverize
apart.
them. And the obvious choice is, of course, a nuke. So, let's go. We
Oh.
load up a nuclear warhead, launch, aim at our deadly asteroid, and...
It probably won't do much.
oh, the asteroid destroyed the nuke. Asteroids can approach Earth at 70,000 kilometers an hour, enough to cross the Atlantic in 5 minutes. No bomb we've ever made could survive such an impact. So if we go for a head-on collision, the asteroid will wreck the nuke before it even has a chance to explode. Okay, easy.
So
Let's explode
your
the
nuke would
bomb
just be
before
useless.
it touches the asteroid.
Amazing.
Scientists have estimated the optimal distance, which for our 100-meter killer friend would be a few tens of meters above the surface. Launch, set the timer, and...
But what if it does nothing and now we're just launching a radioactive
the
asteroid
explosion
at
has
the
made a
Earth?
dramatic crater and nothing else. Unfortunately, in space there's no air to carry a shockwave.
Oh, yeah, true.
So most of the explosion's energy is lost. The rock will still hit us in 2 weeks, only a few kilometers to the left. Striking such a behemoth with a nuke is like hitting our cargo ship with a washing machine instead
Yeah,
of
there's no
potatoes.
air, so it wouldn't be as
Better,
powerful.
but still useless. Okay, let's go the movie route. Land someone on
Movie
the asteroid,
route?
drill a hole, and bury a nuke inside to avoid all of these
I
problems.
don't think that
And
would
indeed, this
do
is
much
possible in theory,
more.
albeit suicidal in practice. Landing on any space body is a nightmare. Even on fairly big Mars, whose surface we know almost perfectly, roughly 70% of our attempts have failed. So imagine the chances of landing a crew and a nuclear bomb on a small and extremely fast asteroid discovered just 2 weeks in advance. Even if we succeeded, drilling in microgravity is painfully slow since there's no downward pull to help you. So we'd need an agonizing amount of time that we don't have. So sadly, that's not the answer. We have to think less like Hollywood and more like a lumberjack. The smart way.
Lumberjack?
If you want to split a log, you don't hit it with a rock. You use an axe, a dense and perfectly shaped tool designed to break things apart. And just in the same way, scientists have found a new tool to destroy asteroids. Super dense, ultra-fast cosmic bullets. We won't even have to shoot them. Our cosmic bullets are called penetrators. A few
Penetrator.
meters long, slim and made of tungsten, a metal way denser.
That's
and harder
pretty
than
big.
rock. They work in an extremely simple way. You just put the penetrators
Place them in the
way
path?
of the asteroid to float silently in space. From the perspective of the asteroid, you wouldn't see a few tiny bullets sitting
It's just
still.
gonna break
You'd
itself
see them
apart.
rushing at you at 70,000 kilometers an hour. It doesn't matter who stands still and who's fast. But this speed means that by far the longest part of this mission is to get to the asteroid in time. We can't destroy it too close to Earth.
Yeah, because then it is still gonna be a bad result.
With the power of thousands of nuclear bombs. Our atmosphere can absorb isolated chunks, but if thousands of them strike together, their shock waves will
It's also gonna heat up the
millions.
atmosphere.
So instead, we need to get it one day before him.
Think about all those little asteroids coming in. It's gonna cause a lot of heat. It could cause a lot of wildfires too.
In fact, when the asteroid will be nearly 2 million kilometers away, more than 4 times further than the moon. A vast distance, but doable. Our current rockets can cover this in about a week. We'll just send one penetrator about 2 meters long and weighing 2.5 tons. Once our rocket arrives, it puts the penetrator in place to cause maximum damage, and then we wait.
I can't get over the name.
It appears in the vast distance, and then suddenly it's here, shooting at us faster than the speed of sound. We'll slow down time to see exactly what happens. The asteroid crashes into the penetrator so fast and with so much violence that the power of 120 metric tons of TNT is released into the asteroid. The rock vaporizes and the tungsten melts away, carving a wound that tunnels through the asteroid. The damage is too much, and with all of this energy looking for a place to go, the asteroid is blasted into thousands of pieces. The debris spreads out into a diffuse cloud. A day later, the fragments hit Earth.
Some of it would still come to
hundreds
Earth.
of thousands of square kilometers and turning an apocalypse into a mostly harmless show of cosmic fireworks. So if we prepare and get everything ready, spotting a killer asteroid with 2 weeks' notice would be enough. But this was just a small asteroid.
Yeah, what if it's a bigger one?
What if we face a cosmic mountain, a planet killer carrying the destructive power of tens of thousands of nuclear arsenals?
Just make
The
bigger
non-avian
penetrators.
dinosaurs would tell you about it, but they're dead. What if it is a planet killer? Planet killers are objects so vast and powerful that they would end most life on Earth in a single strike. The most dangerous ones are comets from the outer fringes of the solar system, so distant and dark that tracking them is impossible. Comets are dirty ice balls the size of mountains, more fragile than pure rock, but also much faster and violent, traveling at around 140,000 kilometers per hour. In 2020,
140,000 kilometers per hour.
with the power of 6,000 times all the nuclear bombs on Earth, was discovered just 4 months before its closest approach to Earth. What if we find such a beast 6 months before it's going to crash into us?
Half
Do
a
we have
year.
a chance of surviving this? Unfortunately, this would be extremely hard for a bunch of reasons. First of all, our planet killer comet has so much more mass than a tiny killer asteroid that simply breaking it into millions of pieces
It's
would not help
not
us that
gonna do much.
The chunks that hit Earth would still be massive and numerous enough to set the sky ablaze and kill most life on Earth. So we need to make most, if not all of its fragments completely miss Earth. But to do that, we need to destroy it much further away, as far away as Mars. And to destroy a mountain, we need way more penetrators. Hundreds of thousands.
Or bigger ones.
And this is, well, a huge problem.
Expensive.
To travel this far and to transport this much payload, we need at least 24,000 super heavy rockets. As of today, humanity has 2. And they're not really finished yet. Even if
Oh
all the
my
industries
god. Another thing that's not really being mentioned here is the fact that humanity also has to coordinate to do all of this, which is very unlikely considering how we focus on stupid things and fighting each other most of the time. Even getting to this stage where we're able to gather the resources, the manpower, and the time needed for all of this, that wouldn't happen. It just wouldn't happen.
in the world do nothing but switch to building rockets, we wouldn't finish in time. If we actually discovered a planet killer today, there's literally nothing we could do about it. Except, maybe if we combine penetrators with a bit of Hollywood and our old friend the nuclear bomb, there is still a way. For this plan to work, we basically need to have all the parts ready beforehand. A rocket like NASA's SLS, the one planned to take astronauts to the moon, loaded up with everything we need, ready to launch. As soon as the planet killer is spotted on its way to wipe us out, we launch a single rocket to meet it. For 5
Just
long
one?
months, it travels through the nothingness of space as life on Earth nervously continues. Finally, it reaches its destination a bit beyond the orbit of Mars. Now, we deploy 5 massive penetrators in sequence, one perfectly lined up.
Honestly, if humanity was actually at risk of getting hit by a massive asteroid like this or a comet, it would probably not be public information. Because if the chances of humanity's survival are basically 0 or less than 1%, it would just be anarchy. Pretty much, I would say most of the world would just descend into anarchy because it's like, well, there's only 6 months left. Who cares? Doesn't matter what we do anymore. We're not going to survive anyway. So I don't think this would be public information.
2 kilometers after the other. The engineering challenge of aligning and timing this correctly is horrendous, and we only have one attempt. So a few very brave astronauts go on this one-way trip to supervise the process with no way home. Nervous hours pass as all of humanity watches the skies and screens. And then the moment comes. The icy mountain of death appears in full, and then it's already here. Slow down time again. The comet smashes into the first penetrator at 140,000 kilometers an hour, unleashing the power of 2,000 tons of TNT. Ice, rock, and tungsten liquefy in an instant as the energy of the impact eats itself dozens of meters deep into the mountain. Here's the second one, perfectly hitting the same spot, punching directly into the crater.
Lining this up would be practically
melting,
impossible.
Drilling. The third and fourth penetrators repeat the process again, now smashing a tunnel about 100 meters deep. But this time, this is just a scratch on the surface of the monster. The comet is not really damaged yet. And then comes the final penetrator and its toxic load. 300 megatons in nuclear warheads, 20,000 times more energy than the bomb that destroyed Hiroshima.
Okay.
It travels deep into the tunnel, and just before it hits the end, it explodes. This time, the nuke works. Instead of hitting nothing in the vacuum, the energy of the explosion smashes into rock and gravel and ice. On top of vaporizing it from the inside, there's so much shock and push and punch that a frozen world billions of years old dies from within, turning into a cloud of millions of fragments spreading in all directions. Humanity is saved. To make this happen
or
in
is it?
reality would take unprecedented planning and precision, and yet it's possible. Not in a century with sci-fi technology, just with the rockets, engineering, and knowledge we already have.
I'd say
today.
it's mostly theoretical still. Even if it was theoretically possible, like I said before, humanity ignoring all the fighting between each other and deciding to focus on this, I doubt it's going to happen. And if this was public information, humanity would probably descend into anarchy because pretty much nobody would believe that it can be done. Let's be honest. If we were in a situation like this, do you think it would be able to be stopped? I don't think so. But yeah, luckily, we're not in a situation like that, so we don't have to worry about it. Not yet anyway, and hopefully never. At least not in our lifetimes. But yeah, I think I've said everything I wanted to, so hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please consider subscribing and leaving a like. If you want to see more reactions, check out this video right here. And with that, I'll see you in the next video.